And so that kind of intelligence doesn't even appeal to me. My best friend, who is a lesbian, technically she's bisexual, but she's mostly a lesbian. She has a brain like me. And in the last 2.5 years, she's my best friend. I tell her she's my best friend. I call her, she calls me. We take each other out for lunch. We have a chat about how crap other people are, because I sound arrogant, but I never measured myself against other people until I researched it for my book.
Yeah.
And the difference between me and other people, one calculation I did shows a 3,200 times productivity effectiveness from a whole group of people in one room to what I can do in 2 days was 3,200 times better. So I don't want to sound like a whatever, but when the difference is so vast. So I described to someone in the gym a few years ago, before I'd read the book The Gift of Dyslexia, I described in the gym, I said, look, I like people, but they're just intellectually pedestrian.
Yeah.
Now I read The Gift of Dyslexia and it says visual thinking is in comparison with verbal reasoning. So most people, in fact, anyone educated by our education systems uses verbal reasoning. And it said that visual thinking is between 400 to 2,000 times faster. I read that and I went, that's exactly what it is. So, yeah. So the conditions I would want, I'm definitely not worth that, because, anyone that dated me would experience a significant drop in life experience. I don't care about money. I don't care about power. I don't care about how I look. I don't care about any of these things. So, whereas most people, practically everyone, thinks they live out here, they don't. We all live in here. It's just that I know it. Yeah. So I work on in here and not out here. So I set myself an impossible bar for anyone to reach.
Yes, and that is the part of the definition of imposter syndrome, which is we create these goals, these estimations, these things which we have no chance of achieving.
Indeed.
And it's okay if you're happy with that. It's okay if you're happy with that. If you've got one person in your life that can at least allow you to open your heart enough that you feel resourced enough, then absolutely, then the need for that sense of belonging, because you got that belonging with her. You already have a completing sense of belonging. However, if you want something and you are longing for that other kind of relationship, then it's going to require actually really thinking about, when we move more into the mental world, we actually often disconnect from our feeling world. And by doing that, for example, like when we cry and someone says, what do we do? We go and we look up, we start looking up when we're starting to feel a bit teary. Let's look up. And the moment we look up, we are able to almost divorce our body from our head. And our head is notorious at lying to us, because everything's in here, but we can't see all of it, right? So we are then seduced into a lot of ways of thinking that are not the most helpful to our happiness.
Yeah.
So it's really about having a look at what is happiness, true happiness for us. If happiness is, well, it really is about making sure that I have this kind of way of being, and I don't need any kind of relationship that's going to, if I can just have sexual, transactional, and nice relationships, great. Okay,
No, I'm not
but
into that.
if that's what you want, fair enough. But it doesn't give you the gift of belonging. It doesn't give you the gift of love.
No.
And
Well,
that is what is really what all relationships are about.
one of the things that I'm very aware of is, so I call this thing a vampire repellent, and I had them made when I was coaching in primary schools. Hence the name. They go, "Oh, what's that around your neck?" I go, "It's a vampire repellent." Anyway, so in the Tibetan book of living and dying.
Yeah, my favorite book.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there's a phrase in there which is take what you need, eat what you take. And since then, of the food waste, everyone's 30%. Me, the only food waste in my entire diet are the few grains of rice that stick to the inside of one of those microwave rice bags.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I could probably get it out if I'm prepared to let 5 or 6 grains of rice go, but that is how rigidly I apply myself.